Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here today to talk about some surprising uses for your common pantry herbs. The kind of things that you keep for seasoning your sauces and gravies and soups and casseroles and whatever else you like to use it in. And I'm going to be focusing on 5 of these common herbs, plus one wild one that a lot of people consider a weed. Now, before I get started on these, I'm just going to be listing a few things for each of these herbs, but that doesn't mean that is all. Otherwise, if I went through it all, this video would be way too long. But instead, what I'm going to do is link you to my full playlist on herbs and more benefits and uses in the description box down below, where you can scroll down and look through that and find each one of these and learn more about its uses and its benefit. So what I have here is sage, oregano, rosemary, basil, and thyme. Now, most of all this comes from my own garden, except for not all of the basil. I cannot grow quite enough basil to get me through the year in our very cool, wet climate. However, I can grow some in the greenhouse, and then I supplement that with some organic basil that I get from either Frontier Co-op, or the next time I need to purchase it, I'm going to see what Azure Standard has. Okay, so let me just start with sage. I'm just going to list the benefits that I wrote down. So it's good for hair growth and just general hair health, cognitive health, and that includes helping to prevent Alzheimer's, dementia. It's also very good for depression. It's also beneficial to bone health. In other words, building your bone density. So especially if you're a menopausal or postmenopausal woman, sage is something that you should look into just adding to your diet on a regular basis, or even making a tea out of it from time to time. So the next one I'll talk about is oregano. Again, just a few of the benefits of each of these. And it is a natural antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, and it can help prevent or cure candida overgrowth in the gut. Thyme, like I have right here, just absolutely love my garden thyme. It is also a natural antiviral, antifungal, and is very good for respiratory health. And that includes helping with your common colds, flus, coughs, and can even help prevent or cure whooping cough. And then basil. Basil, especially if you use it fresh, is really good for bites and stings from bees, spiders, and more. It helps to draw out the poison and get rid of the pain or the itch pretty much immediately, much like plantain does. It's also good at helping with nausea and depression and reducing blood pressure. I think I listed a couple extras in there. And then the other common pantry herb would be rosemary, and that one is also a great antiviral, very good for helping to boost your memory and help with other cognitive health issues, but especially with boosting memory, and is excellent for helping with hair growth and just general hair health. So this is why rosemary is one of those things I'll mix with nasturtium flowers, maybe some sage, and make a hair wash, rinse vinegar out of that, or use it in my hair growth oil that I infuse. So I use these herbs, I dry them, I put them in the oil, and I have a video recipe on that I'll put link to in the description box down below. Now let me talk a little bit about a common weed most people will find in their yard or even in their gardens, and that is dandelion. Now all parts of the dandelion plant are edible and usable for various things. The greens, if you don't get too heavy on them, can be added fresh to salads. But as far as their benefits, the flowers are good for general skin health, but also with eczema and so much more. The sap from the stem, that white part, can be good for curing bites, stings, cuts, scrapes, and even getting rid of warts. And the plant as a whole is really good as a diuretic and very highly nutritious. And I'll even make, with the flowers, I'll even make a hair wash vinegar out of that. That's usually the first one I'll make in the season because the dandelion flowers are the first thing to start blooming. So again, that was just a sampling of some of the things these herbs are good for. But if you'd like to learn more about each one of those, as well as more herbs that you may have growing either wild or naturally, or you're growing intentionally in your garden, or things that you may just already have in your pantry, I have quite a number of videos in that playlist I'll be putting down below. But the reason why I wanted to focus on these particular herbs, these 5, is they're like the top 5 most people will already have in their pantry. So even if you cannot grow these herbs, at least you already have them. You can tincture them. You can make teas out of them. You can make salves with them. You can even make poultices out of them, depending on how you plan on using them. So they're a great thing to have, not only for their culinary uses, but also for their medicinal benefits. And it is also why I often tell people, let's say maybe you're in a very small area in an apartment and you're wanting to at least grow something. And, you know, these kind of herbs are things you can easily grow in pots, either just outside on a little deck or porch, or even in a window, preferably a south-facing window in your home. So right there is the main reason I wanted to focus on these. That doesn't mean you can't expand out farther than that, but anyone that's getting started in either medicinal herbs or growing a garden, this is where I highly recommend you start, or at least stocking up on these things because they are so multi-purpose, both medicinally and for culinary uses. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and you use it as how it was meant, to kind of give you a jumping off point to do your own research to learn more about that, but also to consider either stocking or growing these items yourself. So any thoughts, ideas you'd like to share, maybe some other your favorite common herbs that you use for various things and how you use them, please put those in comments down below. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.